Hi everyone, I'm Sean Callebs. We are here in Singapore. You are looking at the most iconic image in this entire city-state. That is the merlion. Half lion, half fish. It is the symbol of this wonderful city-state. We arrived last night. Long flight from the United States. First to Tokyo, about 14 hours, then another 7.5 hours to here. But we are amazingly rested and eagerly up to check out this city, and we're getting the lay of the land on the water, which is probably one of the easiest, most efficient ways to take a look at Singapore. A lot of attention on this community right now, a community of about 5.7 million people living here. And of course, everybody's focusing on June 12th, when US President Donald Trump and the leader of the DPRK, Kim Jong-un, will be gathering here to have a historic summit to try to bring peace, reduce the tension on the Korean Peninsula. A lot at stake, and a lot of people wondering exactly what is going to be a success at the end of the summit, and what would trigger something that is not a success. Well, right now it's June here in Singapore, and it is the vacation season. And one thing that's pretty fascinating for us from our standpoint is security's been really understated in and around this downtown area where the merlion is, spewing out water here into Singapore. And I think a lot of people are welcoming that right now. Donald Trump is scheduled to arrive sometime on Sunday night. He's going to be coming from the G7 in Canada. Some speculation on when Kim Jong-un is going to be here and how he's going to get here. He has an old Soviet-style aircraft, and there's some speculation that it simply isn't airworthy enough to make the trip from the DPRK to Singapore, so it's going to be interesting to see how he arrives. And there's also a great deal of cost involved for the DPRK, and in the past, the Republic of Korea, South Korea, has really embraced a lot of the expenses. When delegates from the DPRK have come down to the DMZ in that area, South Korea's paid a lot. The United States has pretty much made it clear it's not going to pay for this. Singapore is, of course, eating a lot of the cost for what's going to be a somewhat costly one-day summit, looking at how this is all playing out. But there have been a couple of agencies. Hotel.com.org group is volunteering to pay some for Kim Jong-un, and also there's another entity that is interested in paying as well. It's an amazing view here. We're excited about what's going to play out over the next week here on the summit. We're told we kind of have to get back in because they don't want us out here on the edge of the boat. A little concerned, so we'll wander back in this way. This is the boat, one you can rent for $25 Singapore. It's about $20 or so for the United States. And as you ride up and down, you get a tour of what is going on in the area. And this area is really known, of course, obviously, for trade. And it's become a very affluent city. In the past 3 decades, it's really had a tremendous reversal of fortunes in the past 40 years. An impoverished nation for such a long time, now it is one of the most wealthy Asian areas. It's also the 4th most expensive Asian country to live in right now. So people are going to find out a lot about Singapore in the coming days as we get ready to welcome Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un here for the historic summit to try to find a way to disarm the Korean Peninsula and stop Kim Jong-un from testing his long and medium range missiles. A lot at stake, a lot of people watching this, a lot of people have thought about it, but it really comes down to what these two leaders have to say to each other face to face on June 12th. Here in Singapore, Sean Callebs, CGTN.